A week has passed since the final line prosit on the stage at Pinehurst. It's time to reflect on this crazy season called Oktoberfest I have come to be associated with. This musical crusade in the Carolinas. This intense period of accordion-centric music played to strangers by a band of oddly clad musicians. As in past years, it's been loads of fun. The wide variety of venues, the personalities of the band members, the song choices, and most of all, the people we have met along the way. This year we had several new venues. There was Truist Field in Charlotte, where we were surprised to see a huge turnout for what was essentially a morning gig. There was a winery in the countryside of Troutman, where we joked that we had DaVeste day ever. The usual wine sippers tried to reconcile their chill attitude with the eclectic sound of an Oompa band. There was Roar, with its fantastic stage setting and huge ambitions, no match for the fickle patrons and the blazing October heat of downtown Winston-Salem. We also returned to many of our favorite venues, dipping our toes into Florida for a 3-city tour of Latitudes resorts shortly after the passing of patron saint Jimmy Buffett, where adults were out in force to prove they knew the secret to living their best lives. Model A in Tega with its highly energized locals, tasty beer and legit food. Lost World's Brewery in Cornelius, packed to the kegs with people ready to prance in their dirndls and lederhosen and prove they had the most authentic local Oktoberfest experience, complete with stein-holding contests and sing-alongs. And a return to Walhalla, South Carolina for a 3-day festival that most closely resembled the Carnival Tent Beer Fest we were hoping to emulate from Munich, Germany. We even got back to the Bavarian kitchen in Mooresville to play for a meal at the restaurant that launched the band's foray into this crazy endeavor in the first place. This year's band was pretty much intact for its third year, and we built on the solid foundation from prior years with new songs and other antics. Our pre-show ritual remained: set up our equipment, fumble through sound check, inducing some level of anxiety, change into lederhosen for the show, and then seek out a plastic cup of beer to accompany our prosts. The lederhosen and the pin-laced felt hat somehow transform us into the performers, where anxiety or inhibition no longer have jurisdiction. We could be tired, sore, or hoarse from the prior day's gig, but with that initial 1, 2, 3 click of the drumsticks and the harmonic sound of the button box leading the melody of the Lichtensteiner polka, another show is launched, and the multifaceted personalities of the band members dial up the energy. Boom Boom D, the barefoot drummer, keeps pace, dressed in lederhosen for efficiency, shying away from the microphone and otherwise hiding in the back of the band to protect herself from wayward groupies or group photos. Her sidekick husband, Mike, aka Pookie, casually reclines on his keyboard chair, unaffected by set lists or sheet music, typically grinning from ear to ear, contemplating which decibel level to leak some off-color comment into the atmosphere during the next musical lull. There's Anthony, aka Franz, large and in charge with his 5-string bass and his surprisingly limber dance moves, willing to take an arrow through the head or a bass solo, livening up a song with his penny whistle and his occasional visit to the dance floor. There's me, Kevin, aka Hans, still learning to strum my banjo like a proper Slovenian, juggling between stringed instruments as Dave adjusts the song lineup, screeching at the edge of my vocal range to hit Hey Baby and Valderie, wishing I knew how to properly adjust the sound monitors so I could judge how far off key I'm singing, finally getting comfortable enough to practice dance moves with Anthony. Finally, our fearless and multitasking band leader, David, aka Jazz Yankovic. Having picked the set list, arranged details with event coordinators, herded the band to the venue, oversold the potential experience to his bandmates for unknown reasons, he then hoists his heavy button box to his chest, trying to remember the correct key and the melody of the next song, navigating his misplaced button and damaged reed, drenching with sweat in the blistering heat, all dressed in a felt hat, wearing winter boots and leather pants. And when not all 5 bandmates can hit all 30 gigs spread over a 2-month period, Dave's recruited subs step in almost like we've practiced, with Glenn or Larry on drums, Ron on bass guitar, and we also had guest appearances by Ed on baritone and David By, also known as Dave Number 2, on the button box. Oh, and I should mention our favorite groupies and merch table gals, Michelle and Annette, quite often dressed in their dirndls and pushing felt hats at unsuspecting flirts, not realizing the felt hat is the gateway drug to future seasons of full-on lederhosen. There are many repeat fans scattered over the multiple venues, and so they have a clue as to what they are about to hear. Many others have no idea and look upon us with amusement or wonder, occasional boredom or disgust. Some think the experience is supposed to be German. Some think it's polka. Many don't know the difference. Others think it's just an incorrectly spelled excuse for a craft tent or a beer drinking. The reality is we are trying to approach an authentic Munich Oktoberfest experience, including polka, but many non-German polkas and even waltzes or non-polka tunes. We even belt out several American tunes like Hey Baby or Country Roads that the Bavarian Germans incorporated into their iconic festivals. We sometimes add a couple more local favorites like Wagon Wheel or Rocky Top to give the Southeastern flavor and avoid wearing out the audience or David. Ein Prosit is a crowd favorite, mostly a cappella. With a repetition, the crowd soon gets contagion and shouts out words they don't understand. In the age of social media, where so many folks are eyes glued to their phone screen, it's refreshing to see the real-world social scene of 100 strangers belting out the same song while swinging beer mugs in the air. Some songs we tailor to the audience. Who the Heck is Alice has versions ranging from G to PG to R. The bowling song has a couple levels of family-friendly subtleties. People sometimes request She's Too Fat for Me, and we so far have decided not to learn it. Some think I've Got a Wife at Home is a little oppressive, but the reality is many of these songs were written in a different era and simply reflect the truth of that era. To water down the authenticity too much is to not be faithful to the experience. You can have the everyday experience, well, every other day. Oktoberfest isn't about having the everyday experience. Not surprisingly, about half the songs are about beer. In heaven there is no beer. Roll out the barrel, off-brow beer. Many folks sing along with the lyrics, even sometimes to the ones we sing in German, which makes us happy and energizes us and frankly keeps us motivated to pronounce the words as accurately as possible. We also added one song we wrote to the lineup this year, Who Has More Fun Than People? Kind of our theme song for bringing joy wherever we play.
I don't like liver and onions before dessert or after. I don't like two-faced hurricanes or the sound of barfish and laughter. But if you think it's fun,
And it's the people, the audience, that makes or breaks the experience. We're playing for the people and not the event coordinator or ourselves. Occasionally, if the audience is preoccupied with their cell phones or otherwise non-existent, then we mirror that level of disinterest. But if the audience is having fun, then we are having fun. More fun than people, as we like to sing. And usually, we are collectively having a great time, energized by the symbiotic mix of music, laughter, and beer. Every venue is different. We play some assisted living centers where folks are in wheelchairs, happy for the diversion from their normal routine. Other folks happen across a venue by accident, not realizing Oktoberfest was a real thing, and sometimes complaining it was named for the wrong month or spelled incorrectly. There are kids with no expectations and an unrestrained ability to dance in public and seek joy where it presents itself. Our favorite are probably the people that grew up in Germany or had German parents or otherwise reveled in the glowing spirit of the fabled Oktoberfest in Munich. Those folks typically come dressed in lederhosen and dirndls, ready and willing to belt out Ein Prosit or to participate in Das Fliegerlied, and they help to set the pace for others to follow. The thing about Oktoberfest is it's a little like Halloween or a masquerade party in the sense that the audience gets to play dress up and step out of their day-to-day character and even act a little silly in public. Look at us in the band, I'll say. You have a license to act out a little today. There is an almost invisible loss of inhibition and complementary crescendo of crowd participation. Part of that could be the beer. But I think part of it is how the set list is pre-programmed by band leader Dave, operating like a master hypnotist. It starts slow with simple chants of "ya, ya," then gets two budding extroverts to hold signs for "hey baba reba" and "ei-ei-ei-o." And soon after, mugs are swinging to Ein Prosit. And before long, people are up doing the chicken dance or the hokey pokey, or even jumping on the dance floor like a tiger with 30 strangers. So now a week has passed since our final gig of this 2023 season, and I can't help but wonder, 5 years in, how long this odd seasonal phenomenon will keep going. Sometimes I'll remember a venue flop or a band disagreement over the PA system mixer dials, or how my legs throbbed in post-gig mornings while I lay in bed, unable to sleep, with some song worming away in my ear in harmonic tunes in the keys of F or B flat. But that quickly dissolves to memories of joy-filled faces of kids banging tambourines, or adults swinging mugs and belting out Ein Prosit, or Anthony roaming the dance floor with his huge 5-stringed bass, or Mike grinning ear to ear about his latest pun, or Dee setting a pace that causes Dave to overheat, or Dave giggling like a school kid as he's forming a conga line, or hearing people still belting out E-I-E-I-E-I-O as they're walking to their car an hour after the band has quit playing. And I know, for now, I can't see an end in sight. As long as the audience is exuding joy, it is going to feed my soul and energize my next effort. It's no more repetitive or tedious than the next picturesque sunset or the first songbird in spring, or a story retold by an old friend. Indeed, it is a song, it is a story, it is a season. And the season is over now, but it absolutely needs to return next year. Until then, as they say in German, vielen Dank, tschüss, auf Wiedersehen.